Unbelievable. A couple of hate calls. Well, I'll tell you what. Tell you what we're going to do. We will not go to the fallback position. This is an outrageous charge. Religious bigotry is an outrageous charge. So we shall sit here, if need be, with 4 hours of silence, waiting to hear about religious bigotry that the poor fundamentalists are suffering. I mean, I'm trying to be as decent as I know how to be and give you a chance to explain what religious bigotry is. But I guess either you're not suffering it, or you just don't know how to put it into words. So if it takes 4 hours of silence, it will be 4 hours of silence. And I ain't kidding, because I think it's an outrageous charge. There are people who have suffered religious bigotry in this country. Lots of them, millions of them, tens of millions of them, who couldn't get jobs, who couldn't get decent houses. And it's just too damn bad. If some lunatic preacher who wants to be president doesn't like what he's had to say in the past, thrown up in his face, it's just too damned bad. And it is a disgrace to the tens of millions of people who have suffered religious bigotry for this kind of idle talk to be tossed around by this lunatic. So if indeed religious bigotry does exist, let's hear about it. Let's hear how you're suffering. Those of you who say that you're in a majority religion, yeah, let's hear how you're suffering, if you're suffering. We'll have to assume from your silence that you're not. It's just another bunch of lies. And I will not take a call until that board is full. There are 3 lines lit. There are 5 that ain't. I'm not going to sit here and beg and plead and pull teeth. It's either for real or it isn't for real. And if it's for real, it should seem to me that filling up every line on that board should be a piece of cake. Do I think myself real clear? I mean, do you detect a little bit of anger in my voice? Do you detect a little bit of anger in my voice for the tens of millions of Catholics and Jews who were persecuted for their religious beliefs? Do you detect just a little bit of anger? No. Line 8, get rid of him. I want to hear from the people who are suffering. Get rid of line 5. I want to hear from the people who are suffering religious bigotry. Not for people who are against Pat Robertson. There isn't a call on the board right now. I guess there isn't any religious bigotry, is there? I guess it's just another lie, huh? But then what the hell? You people are used to being fed lies and you're used to spreading lies. So where's all the religious bigotry, huh? I think I know where it is. And I think it's becoming rather apparent where it is. Don't you? And I'm deadly serious. We'll go to 4 o'clock. And we will talk to no one but people who are suffering religious bigotry as fundamentalist Christians. If indeed they exist. Isn't this amazing? Isn't this amazing? Just astonishing. You people ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You people are despicable to hide behind a charge of religious bigotry. That is an outrage. Just an absolute outrage. 12:29 the time. So that board ought to be filled. And until it is, I will assume that it's just another bunch of crap. And the hate calls pour in. Tell you what we're going to do. Tell you what we're going to do. Actually, I'll tell my board op. I want you to have an opportunity to hear, and I shall see to it that you hear all of these poor people suffering from religious bigotry as they call in. I shall guarantee that you will get a chance to hear it. All these poor, poor people who suffer at the hands of religious bigotry. I'll give you the phone numbers again. 992 WFLA. Hello? WFLA.
Hi, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure.
I'm not one of the people that are being persecuted.
Well, then I'm sorry. I'm only interested in talking with people who are being persecuted.
Just hold on a second. I want to say that the reason I'm afraid of Pat Robertson...
I don't care, lady. You know, if you can't follow the rules, I don't care why you're afraid of Pat Robertson. We're just going to talk to the people who, like Pat, suffer at the hands of the religious bigots. Just suffer so bad. WFLA.
Freeze.
See, there's another one. We'll just wait. We'll just wait for them. It's obviously a lie, isn't it? Obviously just another thing made up by these lunatics to advance their zealotry. Hoping against hope to get a little sympathy from you along the way. Hoping against hope that you'd never stop to think about whether or not they're suffering. WFLA. WFLA. Hello?
Yes, is this WFLA?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to speak to Bob Lassiter, please.
What do you want to talk to him about?
Religious bigotry.
You suffer from religious bigotry?
Jazz.
WFLA. Hello? You see? WFLA. You people are scum. Just absolute scum. WFLA. 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 Hello? Yeah. Marvelous, isn't it? See all the religious bigotry suffering going on out there? WFLA. WFLA.
Is this Bob Lassiter?
Yeah.
Why don't you take notice to Richard Shank's show?
Why don't you? WFLA. 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 WFLA.
Bob?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. I tuned in a little late. I was just wondering if you could possibly tell me what's happening today so I could know exactly what's happening.
No, I'd suggest you tune in earlier tomorrow. WFLA.
Please tell that fool that it's not heart-rendering, it's heart-rending, he's trying to say.
Sir? Oh, darn, I was going to suggest he listen to Richard Shanks. I believe he pronounces the word correctly. Let me get my kazoo to entertain the rest of you while we wait for all of these people who suffer at the hands of religious bigots to call up and let us know about it. Okay, I think we'll go with this one today. Seems to be in tune. Oh, there's another one. WFLA.
I'd like to talk to Mr. Shit Scum Lassiter, please.
Sure. Go ahead.
Are you him?
Yeah.
Or what's he doing talking if you answer the telephone?
Well, you're the one that's talking.
Lassiter, and you're not him, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Are we on air?
Yeah, I am.
You am what?
On the air.
I don't believe it.
Oh.
Well, anyhow, that's all I wanted to say, Mr. Shit.
I see.
Thank you.
Okay, another good Christian. We had to take out what he had to say. See, the reason I'm doing this is because I just don't think it's fair that my board operator should have to listen to this kind of nonsense, and I think that you should get a chance to hear it. I think that, you, the listening audience, should get a chance to hear it, and there's no need for him to have to listen to it. WFLA, chickened out already. 2 ringy-dingies, and off they were. I'll go back to, there's another one. WFLA, chickened out too. It's a real good Christian persecution song. They love to sing this when they're talking about how they're persecuted. There's a couple more. WFLA.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I wanted to talk to him.
Go ahead.
I'm on the air?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I didn't chicken out. Hello?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had the radio on. I didn't chicken out. I went to turn down the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Second of all, what you're doing right now is religious bigotry.
Oh, how's that?
Because what you're saying is that everybody thinks they're being treated bad.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds really weird listening to it twice when I'm saying. Now, if you want to talk about Pat Robertson...
No, I don't want to talk about Pat Robertson. I want to talk about how you're being persecuted religiously.
I'm being persecuted by your show.
Oh, I see.
You're saying that all Christians are being treated bad, and that we're going out and saying that. No, Pat Robertson said that, and it's true. Anytime you hear him mentioned on the news, it's not, for instance, the Hawaii caucus. He won that, and it wasn't even mentioned on most radio stations. But soon as
really? How do you know it then?
Huh?
How do you know it? Where'd you pick it up in church?
It was mentioned on very few. It was mentioned on very few. I'm saying it wasn't mentioned on many.
Well, first of all, it's as memory serves me, it's a non-binding caucus, and secondly, it was mentioned quite a bit because of George Bush's legal challenge against it.
Well, it wasn't mentioned on hardly any stations that I watched.
Oh.
It wasn't. What I'm saying is that when he does good, it is rarely mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
When he does bad, it's always mentioned.
Well, like I said, you did find out about it, didn't you?
When they announced
Like I said, you did find out about it, didn't you?
Right.
Where did you find out about it? In the media?
You?
I rest my case. WFLA. How about another round of Onward Christian Soldiers? There's another one. WFLA. WFLA. WFLA.
Bob?
Yeah.
I think that you're proving your point that there's no religious burden.
WFLA.
Hello?
Hello.
Is this Bob?
Yep.
I gotta tell you, I like your program.
Great. WFLA.
Go back to Russia.
WFLA.
Hello?
Hello.
Robert?
Yeah.
Your gazoo's flat.
So are you, lady. But if your husband doesn't mind, either do I. WFLA. WFLA.
Hi, yes, I'm calling. Is Bob in?
Yeah.
Hi, Bob. Is this Bob?
Yep.
Hi, Bob. I've been listening to your radio station, and I want to make a few points about religious bigotry.
Uh-huh.
Okay? I'm a biblical student myself, and I'd like to... excuse me?
Said great.
I'd like to make some comments regarding the religious bigotry.
Well, why don't you start?
Well, I think you're absolutely correct in what has been said about these ministers hiding behind these cloaks, so to speak, on religion.
Are you a sufferer of religious bigotry?
Excuse me?
Do you suffer religious bigotry, sir?
Well, I think basically what's crept in and why...
Sir, do you suffer religious bigotry?
Do I suffer? You mean personally?
I think that would be the meaning of the question, yes.
Okay. No, I do not.
I see. Well, you haven't been listening to the program either, then. WFLA.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Bob.
Don't have to wait any longer. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob Lassiter. Okay, this is Tom. Bigotry.
Yeah.
How about the school?
How about it?
Okay. They want to take away that prayer time. Now,
no, there isn't any prayer time to take away.
Well, they don't want to give it up. Now, can't the kids sit there and just think about anything else they'd like to?
Oh, I beg your pardon. Why should I have to stop my day so that you can pray? You can pray any time you want to. You don't need me to be quiet, do you?
Well, you might want to give people that option.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's religious bigotry, I see.
Well, that's at least an attempt anyway. I mean, nobody else is even making an attempt.
What do you mean, at least it's an attempt?
And I can...
Well, what does that mean, at least it's an attempt?
It's an attempt to make some sort of a point. But see, I can't get to the phone during work hours to talk to you, because I've got plenty of arguments for you.
Really? Well, why don't you start some of them?
Tons.
Well, why don't you start one of them?
Oh, many times you talked about money and how people should leave.
Talked about money and how people should leave.
You were saving up enough money to leave.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, and I don't think I really want to try to find out either. WFLA.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Quite a day today, huh? I'd like to make a comment in passing to some of the people who've been calling into you. I stand on your position.
Sir, you haven't been listening. I said 4 hours of people who suffer from religious bigotry, period. And I also asked you guys, don't make me be rude to you, but if you insist upon it, then I'm just going to hang up. Because I am fed up with people who go around belly aching about how they suffer at the hands of religious bigots, and that's all I'm interested in talking to today. If it's true, I want to find out about it. If it isn't true, I want to prove it. WFLA. WFLA.
Catholic father, Protestant mother. You know what bigotry is?
Yeah, I do, sir. WFLA.
I agree with everything.
WFLA. WFLA. WFLA.
Bigotry, that's an Italian redwood, isn't it?
WFLA.
You're being a real ass today.
WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hello.
Bob, I think you're giving up a terrifically interesting program.
WFLA.
Hello, Robert. Give me a chance. I was going to...
WFLA. 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 WFLA.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I think I suffer from religious bigotry. I was in a show once. It's a country dinner playhouse. Whoops, shouldn't have said that name. But
WFLA.
Hey, Bob, you're a turd.
WFLA.
Go back to PLP.
WFLA.
Yes, I want to speak to Bob Lassiter.
Go ahead, please.
I just want to say I've known religious persecution all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was a little girl.
Well, explain it to me.
Well, when I was a little girl, I was persecuted by the other kids because I wouldn't go to the dances, and when I didn't smoke.
How were you persecuted, ma'am?
I was made fun of as a kid.
Being made fun of as being persecuted.
Right. And
I see.
When I got...
people used to get beat for their religious beliefs. People used to be thrown out of their houses. People used to have their houses burned down for religious beliefs. But if somebody snickers at you, that's religious persecution, I see. Well, I guess I'm just a fool. WFLA. WFLA.
Yes, Lassiter. I myself have suffered from religious bigotry myself.
Tell me about it.
Okay, well, I've got the fundamentalist views, and while recently attending the John Rosas baseball school, I was discriminated against.
How's that?
Because Rosas himself was a homosexual.
Mm-hmm. WFLA.
Yeah, Bob Lassiter.
Yep.
Okay, I believe that you're demonstrating the attitude of a bigot. You don't have to suffer physical harm or being ostracized or anything like that. It just has to be an opinion of a narrow-minded person that's intolerant of other creeds or opinions and the like.
Mm-hmm.
And
so how have you suffered, sir?
I'm not saying necessarily.
WFLA. 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 Is that pot up in there? Amazing. WFLA. These pots are not on. I'm not even getting a dial tone when I punch up an empty one. Great. What's the problem? There we go. WFLA.
I think that I am a Christian, and I think that you're being persecuted because the Lord knows how bad you were going to be, and that's why you aren't having as good a luck as you think you should have in life.
I have a very, very good amount of luck, ma'am. Far better luck than you will ever have.
Oh, no. You live in
lady, I make so damn much money you can't believe it.
You know it, and you won't admit it. But the Lord is punishing you, and He will keep on punishing you, buddy. You act like you're happy, but you're not.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you're not. You know it. And that's why you're tormenting the people on here today, and that ain't nothing but the devil coming out of you.
I see. WFLA. WFLA. WFLA.
Robert, what's a fundamental Christian? I don't know.
WFLA. I'm a remarkably patient man. Especially when I think I'm onto something. Like showing hypocrites up for being what they are. Remarkably patient man. And I've got an hour, make that 2 hours and a half left. And I don't give a damned. WFLA. WFLA.
I think they should urinate on the lettuce, man.
WFLA. WFLA.
This is the funniest show I've ever heard.
WFLA. WFLA.
Ow!
What an amazing group of people, huh? What an amazing group of people. These are the people who would like to tell you how to live your life. WFLA.
Yeah, get that nasty son of a bitch.
Wonder where it says that in the Bible. WFLA.
Bob.
Yeah.
I have a very good deduction of why.
Well, call up when we're doing an IRS show, okay? WFLA. WFLA. WFLA.
Hi, does getting your hands whacked by a nun count?
WFLA. Real ding-dong there. WFLA.
Hallelujah.
WFLA. WFLA.
Bob, let's talk about copulation.
WFLA.
Yo mama, yo mama, yo mama.
WFLA.
You pig.
WFLA.
Kakalela.
Perhaps another chorus of Onward Christian Soldiers, huh? It's a great song to play while you're telling Christian persecution stories. Oh, there's another one. WFLA.
Go back there.
WFLA.
Yeah, you getting 40 cents a call for this?
WFLA. Hello?
Hello, is
Yes.
this the producer?
Nope.
Is there a producer available to speak to?
Nope, just me.
Are you Bob Lassiter?
Yep.
Don't want to talk to you.
WFLA.
Bob, I said the Sabbath.
WFLA.
How big is your penis?
WFLA.
He's on a hold.
WFLA.
Yes.
WFLA.
Hello, this is Tammy's Bay.
WFLA.
Are you safe?
WFLA.
Is this Searstown?
WFLA. WFLA.
I think you're an asshole.
WFLA. WFLA. WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hello.
Yes, can you play your kazoo?
WFLA.
Bob, you're my god.
WFLA. WFLA. WFLA.
Your mama told
WFLA.
over.
WFLA.
Oh, you must have married the...
It is such a joy to work for a mature audience, you know? It is just such a real joy. You'll recall this afternoon when I'm gone, I trust. WFLA. 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 WFLA.
Get off the soap.
WFLA. WFLA. Just love it, don't you? Just love it. It's what keeps me number one in this market. WFLA.
You made us what we are.
WFLA. WFLA. WFLA.
Hi, is Bob Lassiter there?
Yep.
Is this Bob?
Yep.
Bob, listen, this is ridiculous. I love to listen.
WFLA.
Hello. Bob?
Yeah.
I'm on the air?
Yep.
Son of a gun. Yeah.
Jim in St. Petersburg. Hi, Jim. You're on the air at WFLA.
Bob. I've suffered from religious bigotry, and let me try to explain. To be precise, it was in bed with your wife.
Richard in Clearwater. Hello, Scott.
Hello, are you discussing religious...
You know what I'm discussing, Scott. Don't give me any grief.
Don't give you any grief?
Right. You know what I'm discussing. You listen every day.
No, I don't listen
Right.
every day, Bob. In fact, I didn't listen to those 2 very special 2 hours you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And Christians, by and large, aren't persecuted in the United States. They are killed in other countries for their belief, but they're not really touched in this.
What other countries are they killed for, Scott, for their beliefs?
Well, Africa, the Soviet Union, China.
Soviet Union. How many Christians did they kill last year? How many Christians did they kill in Romania last year?
I have no idea. But
no idea. I see. But you know that there were Christians killed for their religious beliefs. How about Russia? How many Christians were killed in Russia last year?
I have no idea.
No idea at all. Right.
Pentecostals.
You don't know whether or not there was anybody killed for the religious beliefs last year in Russia, do you, Scott?
Before you cut me off.
Scott, you don't know. Scott.
Embassy in Moscow.
We'll just put him on hold and ask him the question. You don't know that there was anyone killed last year in the Soviet Union for their religious beliefs, do you, Scott?
And you don't either, Bob, do you?
Scott, answer the question or you are gone.
Christians have been killed in Russia
Scott,
and China.
how many were killed last year in Russia?
I have no idea.
Do you know for a fact that so much as one was?
Do you know that...
Do you know for a fact, Scott, that so much as one was?
Do you know that they
Scott, do you know for a fact that so much as one Christian died for his religious beliefs last year in the Soviet Union?
No, I don't.
Thank you, Scott. Just another prime example of spreading truths, misinformation, anything at all to further the good old cause. Truth has nothing to do with anything with these people. Nothing. If it'll further the cause. The temperamental Gary McHenry next with a terrific WFLA traffic report. Temperamental Gary, are you there? Gar? Well, Gar? Gary? Gary,
What time is it here?
we played your song.
I don't think Lassiter's going to go to Bedell today. So,
Gary?
2 minutes late here, so I would imagine he's probably done. Give me another...
Gary, I played your song.
Another pack of almonds over there, please.
Pack of almonds?
Smokehouse almonds right there? Okay.
Smoke them?
Is the big jerk going to be here? Oh, okay. Are we on? Hello?
Yeah. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Bob. How are you,
Hey,
Bob?
buddy. How you doing?
Oh, great. Fantastic.
All right. Hey.
Good to be with you again, buddy.
Oh, great to have you along, Gary.
We have a couple of accidents.
One of those time I'm going to have this message report on my show. I can't stand this. The temperamental, but terrific, Gary McHenry with a WFLA traffic report. Gary, baby, such a pleasure and privilege to have you back on the show again.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of okay to have you back on the show again.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Keep going.
It's tolerable to have you back on the show.
Let's leave it at that. While I'm still, optimistic about your feelings for me. Thank you, Bubba. We have.
Well, wait a second. If you're optimistic, I want to say. Oh, go ahead.
We have had a couple.
If there is somebody in this life with a sinful nature, perhaps he's in the studio with me. Ted Webb.
Hi, Bobby. I just wanted to come by to remind you about our prayer meet tonight.
Your prayer meeting tonight? Yeah. I won't be able to make it, Teddy.
You can't make it tonight?
No, will you just take my donation instead?
Okay. It's no problem. That's all they wanted you there for anyway.
No, you can well imagine.
You know what?
Hell, Channel 22 uses me for fundraising, and why shouldn't you?
And he said yesterday, send us your money.
Did they do that?
Yeah, they do.
Really?
I have known at least one occasion where that has been done.
And this man sits over there and says this and that and the other, so you better send us your money.
So why do they knock you? You're making them a couple of bucks, right?
They don't knock me. They use me.
Of course. A lot of folks in this area, if you told them what's the biggest gripe you have, they'd say the crime problem, right? Mm-hmm. There are too many criminals that go in for 1/3 of their sentence and they're back out on the street and committing the same crimes that they were accused of committing before. And then you tell them, well, you know, what you need to do is build more prisons. There's just not enough space to house all of these bad guys. And then you tell them, but we'll have to raise your taxes. The first thing they say is, no way. And then if you're lucky and you do have enough money, then the argument is, where do we build these prisons? I don't want that stuff near my neighborhood. Hell no. Put that out there in some jungle in the Everglades. Nobody wants them near. So nobody's really willing to fight the crime problem. We're going to talk about prisons and what we can do about the crime problem starting at 4 o'clock.
All right, Teddy. Be good. Watch that sinful way, too.